Hey guys, K Dizzle, Keegan Dunn here. Welcome to my podcast, the Blue Scramble is what it is called today. Okay, so the Blue Scramble. This is a kickoff episode. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was expecting to have like 2, 3, 4 women specifically on my first episode, get it kicked off, maybe a golfer, a soccer player, a cheerleader, this, that, but it's just me. But I guess it's fitting because guess what the topic is? Like, this is my very first topic, loneliness. So, I guess it's just well fit for the topic at hand. But welcome to the Blue Scramble again. It's just a place where mental health can be talked about as it pertains to athletes in particular, with the base being faith. The Lord my God, Jesus Christ, right? That's the base of all this. So I kind of want to have a place where we can dig into the depths of what really goes on in the life of an athlete, the mind of an athlete, and the journey, the good things, the bad things, the things that we go through. And I kind of want to share testimonials as well as experiences, as well as how we got through it, or in this particular episode, how I got through it. So it's kind of going to be a little narcissism going on here, but that's just what it do. All right, let's get it crack-a-lacking. Okay, loneliness. Jeez Louise. There's so much to talk about as it pertains to loneliness, especially in my sport. So I am a golfer, right? My dream is to be the best golfer in the world. And I started out U.S. Kids. I started out when I was 4. And I was winning until I was 12. And as you transfer from winning to all of a sudden losing from 12 through I don't even know what age, there's a certain loneliness at the bottom and at the top. So my experience with loneliness is being at the bottom a lot. Like, this is like when I'm like 12, when I'm 14, when I'm 16, when I'm 18, when I'm 21, when I'm in college. Like, I'm not even like through it now, but there's so many seasons of loneliness. And I think one thing that's important to see, like, I'm still going through the journey, but I think one thing that's important to see is that loneliness can be painful, but it can also be necessary. It can also be very necessary. I mean, Matthew 27:46, on the 9th hour when Jesus was on the cross, he was screaming out to God, like, my God, why have you forsaken me, right? He was lonely on the cross. He needed somebody, but his death was necessary, and that what he was going through in that moment was also necessary, for the greater good of humanity, and God knew that. So even though it's not good for us to be alone, I do think that there are seasons where loneliness can shape us, whether that's at the bottom or at the top. Or in my instance, the majority of it for me was at the bottom. Oh my goodness. I mean, when you're at the very bottom, especially as an athlete, I think there's a certain separation that comes with it. I think no matter how many conversations that you have, if you're talking to somebody who's like better than you, or somebody who's like in a higher position than you, or performing better, or performing better, it's hard to relate, because they can't relate to the failure or the loneliness of failure, and that's a whole nother topic. But it's almost something that you have to be at alone, no matter how many people are, be in alone, no matter how many people are like surrounding you. And in my case, I feel like until I like got to like maybe my sophomore, junior year in college, maybe I didn't really have like a good support system. So when I'm going through these things and I'm failing over and over and over again, all I had is like God. That's the only like when you're going through loneliness in a sport, sometimes, I mean, goodness gracious, it's like a constant revisiting of, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? And for me, I definitely had to revisit my why almost weekly, you know? And I think, another part to this is when you're lonely in a sport, it kind of affects your self-worth. Or for me, at least, it did. Like, for example, in college, I was like the worst player on the team for a long time. Like, shout out Mizzou, go Tigers, all that. But like I was failing like so long. So being in that place and I'm just gonna be like being the only Black player on the team, and failing at that, and like having this odd, I feel like, I don't know if it's personality or just muteness or like separation to me. It was just like doomed. It was like I was like kind of doomed to be lonely. You know what I mean? With every mix of me for that moment. So, when I did continually go through those periods of loneliness, that were mixed with failure, it made me constantly feel like I was like hanging on by a thread, and it made me constantly revisit, like, why am I playing this sport? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? But I think one thing that I learned through that is that there's a reason for the separation. You know, there's a reason for the separation. And I was just watching this video by Jermaine Holt earlier, and I think he said, if you're lonely, like there's a reason for the separation. If you're lonely and nobody else likes you and nobody else is talking to you, or you don't have this support system, or you're at the bottom, or you're over here and everybody else is over there, you try to be over here with everybody and you're over there, especially in team sports or just in teams in general, you got to realize you were made unique for a reason. There is 7.9999999 billion people already. You know, if you were meant to be just like them, there would be no reason that you have breath in your body right now. And I think that kind of hit me because it let me know, like, oh, there's a purpose behind this. Like, oh, God. You know, I feel like as you go through a journey with God, you kind of realize, like, there's a purpose, you know? Like, even for me, like, during high school or just back in the day, I'm going to keep it a buck. The people that I wanted to be with, or the people that I wanted to be around, or that I wanted to be like in the friend groups, was so bad. Now that I look back at it, I say I wouldn't have become the person that I am today if God allowed me to be in those friend groups. If God allowed me to be the type of unlonely that I wanted to be, I don't know where the heck I would be today, you know? So, I think that is a key for separation, as well as empathy and character. Okay. Another reason I wouldn't be making this podcast if I didn't understand loneliness. I think understanding hard times is a big key, especially when you have a big purpose for your life, or in general, even if you have, I feel regardless of what you do, you can have a bigger impact on other people if you understand. So I think as an athlete, especially if you have like large goals, it's very important to understand that sometimes you need to go through the pits just so you can empathize with people. Sometimes you need to go through the pits just so when you're staring at somebody else in the eyes and they're coming to you, you can have compassion instead of not knowing what they're talking about, instead of always having a support group, instead of always having somebody to lean on. You know, sometimes you just gotta, sometimes understanding is the lesson in itself. And that's a tough thing to swallow. But now, now that I know that, I'm kind of just like, all right, God, do your thing now. But in the midst of it, and I'm still like freaking in the midst of it, but like really in the depths of it, it was hard to understand why. I'm saying like in the depths, but like I was just praying to God earlier, like, why am I so lonely, Lord? Help me! Why am I so? But like the understanding that I have of the reasons and why it's made me this way and why it's made me that way, it gives me a little bit more peace going on this journey. So, I think another reason that loneliness can be helpful is it brings you closer to God. Like some things just really, like sometimes you have to be torn away from the world to be pushed closer to God. If there was 3 people in here, I keep getting like, but like, for example, like for golf, for me, I didn't really have like friends or whatever. So instead of like talking to different people on the course, or like when I didn't have an instructor, like I went through a whole period without an instructor, instead of talking to an instructor or trying to figure it out with like a human, there was literally a period of time in which God was my instructor. No bizzle, okay? And I'm telling you, like I literally, this is in college, okay? This is like last year, 2 years ago. And I made so much progress. I made the most progress I ever had in life just from God being my instructor, just from literally accepting, being like, God, I have no idea why I'm here. I'm failing. Nobody understands what I'm talking about. I'm coming in last continuously. I'm working as hard as I can. I'm failing. Nobody to talk to about it. So I get up, I work hard, I fail, I eat, I do it again. And then I complain to God about it. God, like, I don't know why I'm here. Nobody's here with me. And the only reason that I was able to literally make God my instructor is because I was so lonely that I literally just gave it all to God. I was like, okay, I don't have anybody else to talk to. I don't have anybody else to help me. Or I felt like I didn't. That's a different topic. If you feel like you're lonely versus actually being lonely. But I would literally just be like, okay, God, like, what are you want me to do? Like, which part of my swing is this? Should my hips do this? Should my hips do this? God, show me. Like, you created me for this. Like, this is the only reason I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. I'm failing. I don't have anybody else to talk to. God, you're going to have to show me. Otherwise, forget it, So, God, is my hand position supposed to be here? Is it 45 degrees or 60 degrees? Not like that, but, like, literally just diving into God's purpose with what I'm doing. And just literally giving it to him. And I wouldn't have done that if I wasn't lonely, And also, I think loneliness, it brings character, Like for me, I think loneliness gives you the ability to step back and kind of choose what you want to be like, or kind of step back and like in the midst of like the heartache and the destruction of Everybody else is doing this. Why can't I be doing this? Everybody else is going here. Why am I not invited? Everybody else likes this. Why don't I like that? Everybody else is winning this. Everybody else is doing this. The team's here. Instead of going that route, I think it forces you to take a step back and be like, maybe I don't want to do that. I don't like that. I like this. I don't agree with that. I wouldn't want to be there, instead of kind of going with the crowd. So I think it gives you the ability to, I don't know if the word is freaking figure out who you are, but kind of have like a self-love. Because I think to recognize loneliness and like not be okay with it is almost to like love yourself to the point where it's like, wait, why doesn't anybody else like me? Like, what's going on? Like, don't they see me the way I see me? Like, and I think it also gives you the patience to be like, I'm gonna wait until somebody else sees me or loves me like I do, because I don't understand. I think it's a good thing when you don't understand why you're lonely. I think not accepting that this is the way it's supposed to be is it can be a very positive thing. And I think, oh, man. It also, it enables you to be self-aware. Like for me, I'm not gonna lie, I've been lonely for like a long time. Like I'm 22 now. I really don't ever remember like having like friends, so I can't even be like, oh, it was just a team in college, or oh, it was just these people in high school, or oh, it was just this, oh, it was just that, or oh, it was just him, or oh, it was just her, or oh, it was just that one girl in second grade who said she didn't like my puffs or something. But like the common trait is me, you know what I mean? So I don't even know what I'm going with this. I'm thinking I'm just projecting. But I think, it gives you, or for me, it gave me a chance of self-reflection, which is why I'm in therapy right now. Like, it helps you claw, just really reach into like yourself, who you are, why you are the way that you are, right? So I think it starts with like the self-love and the, oh my gosh, like why am I this lonely? Like what the heck is going on? And I think once you question that, you really start to dive into your own traits, why you are the way that you are, I think at first, I'm not gonna lie, I only got like 2 minutes left in this talk, but I might go 15 more. So I actually, I'm not even going. Okay, vulnerability. So I was actually so lonely at some point. Like in 7th grade, I just decided to like change my whole personality, right? Because I didn't understand why who I was right then just wasn't working. And I did that twice in life, but that's another story for another day. But I think you learn through loneliness, you kind of learn to find the right solutions. You know what I mean? So obviously I've recognized maybe that wasn't it, but through life I've recognized like, okay, maybe I have like some traits that aren't particularly ceviche, positivity, amor, yo. I'm learning French, but no, I realized like, dang, like maybe you gotta fix that. Like maybe that's not right. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, or look like maybe that was kind of cruel and unusual. Yeah, so it's given me the chance for self-reflection. Not I think, and I think a whole nother topic is like balancing, balancing why am I lonely with, okay, maybe I need to fix these traits, because I don't think you should get into the whole changing the whole personality thing, but basically what I'm saying is that loneliness can push you closer to God. It can push you to closer to yourself, and that you can be separated for a reason. You know what I mean? There's people who are like 90% of everybody else for a reason. There's people who are like 50% of everybody else for a reason. And there's those 1%ers, right? There's those 1%ers. Athletes, you know what I'm talking about. There's those 1%ers. And I think that comes in every form of life. So if you have a 1%er goal, whether that's as an athlete or whatever you do, if you have a 1%er goal, then you have to expect to be separated from 99% of people, not just in your purpose or what you want to be separated in, or in your riches, or in the fame, or in this or in that, but in life. And when God knows you have a purpose like that, sometimes you have to be separated in order to learn certain things. And that's a reality I'm still going through, big 1%er right here, you know what I'm saying? But it's tough. But there's a reason, man. I don't want to be like anybody else. I am not like anybody else. And that's a beautiful thing. But it's rough. It's rough. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna cut it off right there. Welcome to the Blue Scramble. Good luck.